I'm Afi Ayanna, and welcome to your Rise and Shine yoga practice. Today's yoga practice is focused on yoga for lower back pain. So often, if you're dealing with lower back pain, it can become chronic. It can become really affecting all of the areas of your life. And so today we're really going to focus on creating some relief, a therapeutic way of getting into some of the postures so that we really bring some mindfulness and ease at the same time with the practice. So let us begin on our bellies in a cobra pose. We're going to place our hands very gingerly in whatever way you're going to get down there, especially if you're in a lower back flare up right now. We're going to place the feet hip width distance apart, placing the elbows underneath the shoulders, pressing the palms into the floor. We'll inhale, rotate the shoulders up and down and back. Press the pelvis into the ground to really release out of the lower belly. Rotate the chin parallel to the floor and press the tops of the toes into the floor while simultaneously pressing the hands into the floor. We're going to take 3 deep breaths here. So just begin, you can even close the eyes, inhaling in through the nose, exhaling out the nose. Feel the belly button coming back close this way. Inhaling through the nose. Filling up the belly, feeling the belly pressing into the floor like a balloon. And on the exhale, the belly button moves back towards the spine. So with the poses today, we're really going to focus on some core stability, lower, middle, and upper core stability. So a lot of times, if the core is weak, then the lower back takes the brunt of movement in the body, and that can exacerbate the lower back pain. And one more deep breath. Now, move the right foot in towards the center, the left foot in to meet it. And just this time, we're going to place the head on the floor, one hand over the other, both palms facing the floor, and just give yourself a rest. Breathe into the lower back here. And spend some time experiencing the breath in the back side of the body. So with pain, often we get stuck in a shallow pattern of breathing. So inviting more breath into the body, more grounded experiencing of the sensation can really begin to create relief. So inhale in through the nose to the count of 4, 3, 2, 1 into the back body, and then exhale out the mouth. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe even having a little pause at the bottom. Inhale back in through the nose. 4, 3, 2, 1. Filling the breath all the way up into the underarms. Holding for a second here, and then on the exhale, blowing the breath out of the mouth. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You might even squeeze the buns together here. So really creating some support. Inhale into the belly. Now with the bun squeeze, you can breathe into the lower pelvis. 4, 3, 2, 1. Filling up the upper middle and lower belly. And then on the exhale, breathing the breath out of the underarms, the ribs knit together, the belly button comes back towards the ceiling. Beautiful. On the exhale, we're going to press shoulders underneath hands underneath the shoulders, and gently pressing back onto the knees, drawing the knees underneath the body to the middle of the mat. And we're going to come up into sitting pose, just coming into equilibrium. And now on the exhale, walking the hands forward into a child's pose with the knees together here, creating some release out of the lower back. You can widen the hands here, drawing the shoulders up, down, and back, pressing the palms into the hands, and then simultaneously seeing if you can press the buttocks onto the top of the feet. breathe into the belly here, using that 4 count inhalation and the 5 count exhalation. By extending the exhalation, one more breath, pause of breath longer than the inhalation, you begin to signal to the fight or flight or the nervous system that it is okay to relax, release, and let go. One more breath like that. Inhale, deepen, and even pressing the hands back. So even placing the buttocks onto the back of the feet and creating a little bit of traction in the spine here as you press the hands back and creating the buttocks to rest on the heels. That 5 count exhalation. On your next inhalation, walking the hands off of the mat to the left side, elongating through the spine. You might even lift the head up here, inhaling. And then on the exhale, walking the fingertips, widening, releasing into the breath. Getting a stretch from the lower side of the right hip up through the right mid ribs, underneath the right underarm. And you could even extend and place the right palm on top of the left hand if that's available or feels good to you. Giving a C curve into the right side of the body. Inhale, breathe into the lower back. And notice how as you release and soften the lower belly, how good that feels to lower back. Giving this unilateral stretch on the right side. One more breath here. And exhale out the mouth. Release. Feeling that release in the lower coccyx, the lower sacrum bone. And then walking the hands back over to the right side of the mat. Both hands come off the right side of the mat. Shoulder width apart. Really inhale, pressing both hands up, lifting the torso off of the floor, and then on the exhale, walking the fingertips forward, bringing the torso to rest on the thighs. Beautiful. Again, finding this way to ground into both hips. You'll notice that even the torso, the hips can shift to the right. That's absolutely fine, and it will actually create a little more relief and release in the lower back, lower spine. Walking that left hand forward as you create that unilateral stretch from the left hip up the left side body underneath the left arm. Inhale, noticing the belly fills up, kind of pressing off of the leg, and on the exhale, extending. You can place that left hand on top of the right hand if it's available for you. Left palm on the right palm if it's available. Breathing out of the mouth on the exhalation. Allowing the head to reach down towards the floor. Cloudy doing its beautiful job. One more inhalation here. And on the exhale, releasing the breath fully. And letting go. Walking back to the center, we're going to walk ourselves back up. Walk the feet forward. And we're going to come into the body, back body on the floor. We're going to walk the torso down. We're going to stabilize the back on the floor and draw both feet up and bringing the feet parallel to the floor. Drawing the knees together. Inhale, lifting both arms off of the ground parallel. Flexing the feet. And on the inhale, pressing the lower back into the floor so that the inhale, on the inhalation, the lower back, everything, the full spine presses onto the floor to engage the lower abs. And gently press the knees wide apart. Releasing both knees as far as you can, wide apart. Releasing the hips, releasing the lower back, and on the inhale, draw energy in both feet, drawing the knees together. And on the exhale, drawing the knees apart. releasing the lower back, loving the space that it creates. And on the inhale, doing everything with the most ginger, loving intention to the body, especially if the body is in a state of chronic pain. And on the inhale, drawing the right knee over the left, flexing both feet, and then noticing how far can you spread the feet apart. We're going to really draw the lower back onto the floor. This is a great way to stretch out the lower back, drawing both feet wide and far apart on this Gomukhasana pose. Inhale into the lower back. Breathing in, and then releasing the breath. And on the opposite, unwind the legs. Invite the left leg on top of the right. Grab a hold behind the left thighs, and then widen both feet apart. You might even draw the right hip down to make sure both feet are, both hips are nice and parallel to the bottom of your mat. Really draw the left and the right heel far apart from each other. You might even notice the stretch up in the left side of the shoulder. Press that lower back into the floor, supporting the back here. Nice inhale in through the nose. Exhaling, releasing. Inhale, breathing in. And one more release. Exhale and let go. And release both feet onto the ground. Fantastic. Now we're going to do that same pose, allowing the arms to come out wide into a T position. And this time we're going to move it into a side twisting position. So we're not just twisting from the hips, but we're moving from the center or the mid-thoracic side. So inhaling, lifting the right leg up over the left, squeezing the knees together, and walking the hips to the left a little bit, to the right a little bit. And then on the exhale, dropping the knees down to the left side of the back. The exhale, releasing. It's okay to breathe in through the nose and exhale out the mouth, especially if you're dealing with pain. You really want to blow that out of your body, or even imagine it as a color, or maybe even a stagnant, like gray cloud that you're blowing out of the body. Breathing into the lower back, filling up that space in the lower, especially the right hip, lower back. And then on the exhale, allowing the left knees to move down towards the left side of the mat. Beautiful. Beautiful. And then on the next inhalation, drawing the knees back to the center line of the mat. You might unfurl the legs, pressing both feet into the ground. Stabilize with the breath. Take one stabilizing breath. Push the lower back into the floor. You want every vertebrae from the top to the very bottom of the spine, everything pressing into the floor, really creating that connection with the back side of the body. So crossing the left leg over the right, drawing the hips to the left side of the mat, and then gently allowing the knees to move to the right side of the mat. On the exhalation, you might notice one side is way more open than the other. For example, on this right side, my knees are not as, my hips are not as flexible. I have, the body tends to have inequalities or imbalances. So I have, for example, one hip that's a little bit lower than the other. So this is on the left side. I'm getting a lot more stretch, but it doesn't look or seem from the outside as flexible as the right side. So just giving compassion, breathing into the differences in the body, breathing into the lower back. Inhale, filling up the belly with breath. And on the exhale, squeeze the knees together, releasing the knees to the right. Inhale, you might even close the eyes, experience the stretch from the inside. Squeezing the knees together, creating more stability in the lower back. And on the exhale, release blowing out of the mouth. One more breath here, inhaling deep into the lower back. Squeeze those knees together, releasing the lower back, and gently releasing the legs back up to the center. Fantastic. And then drawing the knees in, giving a hug around the knees. Then rock back from the right hip to the left, right to the left. And as you grab a hold of maybe the wrists, maybe grab a hold of the forearms around the shins, bringing the knees up towards the belly, releasing the lower back. That's tailbone, coccyx draws up off of the floor. On the exhale, releasing the legs down. You're going to bring yourself up to sitting. And then coming onto all fours here. Inhaling onto all fours. We're going to move into a cat-cow position. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale the tailbone up. And then just noticing any change in sensation or releasing in the lower back as the belly button draws down, the head chin moves towards the ceiling. Slowly, with awareness, drawing the belly button back towards the spine, head down towards the floor, elbow towards the floor, pressing into the hands, into this cow position. Press, 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 press. Breathe into the shoulder blades here, full inhalation, and on the exhalation, releasing the belly button back towards the floor, very slowly moving through every vertebrae and breath. One more time, inhale. Pressing into the hands, pressing up into the cat position. Exhale. Breathing up, head moves up towards the sky into cow position, belly button presses back, squeeze the shoulder blades together here. And then draw the toes together, allowing the knees to widen and resting for a second here in child's pose. You could even place the hands in prayer position behind the head, drawing the hands back toward the back of the top of the spine, the cervical spine, widening the elbows. Inhale. And allow the knees to widen, creating space in the lower back. And then on the exhale, walking the hands forward. We're going to widen the feet here and slowly press up in with tucking the toes under. We're just very slowly, gingerly, first lift the knees up off of the ground, press the feet back. And then on the exhale, keep the knees bent very gently. We're going to move back into a downward dog, but really slowly bending the knees here, pressing the torso back towards the hands. You might even, or back towards the feet. You might even walk the hands back a little bit here to create contraction in the upper spine. Releasing the heels back down towards the floor. It's fine if they don't touch the floor. It's even great if more supported if they don't touch the floor. Really bending the knees, pressing the torso back towards the thighs. If you had a mat or you had a towel, you could even roll it up and place it under the heels. This is a really great way to practice downward dog if you have a lower back injury, pain, or just issues, to allow the floor to come up towards the heels. We'll wait here for one more breath. Inhale, breathe into the shoulder blades, press the elbows wide apart. Exhale, following the breath out of the body. And then drawing the right foot up, walking towards the hands, the left foot comes up. One more time, walk the right foot up and left foot up until you're underneath the hips. Feet hip width distance apart. On the exhale, allowing the body to rest on the torso to rest on the thighs. And grab a hold of both elbows. Tailbone draws back towards the back of the mat, grabbing a hold of both elbows. Inhale the head up into a little cow position, and then on our cobra position on the exhale, releasing the hands down. Inhale, you could press the hands into the floor if that's available to you. Inhale, coming up, and still the knees bent, but pressing the hands into the floor, extending the length of the spine, the head moves, torso parallel to the floor. And on the exhale, bending the knees, squeezing elbows in towards each other. Exhale, releasing the torso forward. And one more time, inhale. This time, pressing into the legs, extending, pressing the hands up off of the floor, and gently draw the hands up the leg. On the exhale, pressing into the heels, heels widening. Exhale, coming to tabletop position from standing. So the hands can rest onto under the thighs, above the knees, and you could place a cup of tea on the back here as the head extends out of the torso, shoulders rotate up and down and back, extending out of the lower back here. Draw up on the inner thighs. Nice and strong, belly button back towards the spine. You want to support the core here, and then support the lower back here with the core. And then the exhale, draw the lower back body forward, releasing. And on the inhale, gently rolling up one vertebra by vertebra. Slowly coming back up to standing. Opening the shoulders, experiencing the body from a standing position. And just close the eyes here and notice how the lower back feels. Notice if there's any release in the lower back. Palms facing forward. Imagine you have 10 pounds weight in each hand, so really drawing the fingertips, especially the middle finger, down towards the floor here. Elongating the spine, and at the same time, another 5 pound weight in the coccyx of the tailbone, drawing the tailbone down, or even imagining the tail to come between the leg, extending the chest, heart rises forward towards the sky, chin parallel to the floor, and really grounding through the heels, widening the feet here to create some release in the lower back if you're standing. Breathing out of mouth. On the inhale, lift hands up above the head. On the exhale, extend the arms out to the side. We're just doing a little standing kriya here. So inhale, the arms above the head. Following the gaze, gaze follows to the palms as they touch above the head. And on the exhale, swiping the hands out, palms facing down towards the ground. Creating some openness in the shoulders. Belly button towards the spine here. And one more time, inhale. Belly lifts, chest, heart lifts. Last head, eyes come up to follow the gaze towards the hands. And on the exhale, open the hands up, sweeping any pain or tension away from the body as the hands come down. Beautiful. So one more time, inhaling the arms up this time. Then on the exhale, we're going to hinge from the hips. Bending the knees here. Inhale, allow the hands to slide up the front of the legs to flat back. Big breath here into the back of the heart. And then on the exhale, drawing the hands down to the ground. Inhale, drawing the right foot back and allowing the left foot to come forward. Squaring off both hips here. So the right top of the foot presses into the ground, and on the left foot comes forward. Left foot reaches up off of the floor, and we're going to come into a little runner's stretch here in the front leg. So squaring off the hips, left toes come up into the air. Fingertips press into the ground. Squaring off the hips, drawing the left heel back towards the midline of the body. Pressing into the fingertips. And on the exhale, drawing the left knee forward. Squaring off the left knee. Beautiful. And then draw the left foot down into a pigeon pose. Release the right hip back. Top of the right foot presses into the floor. Palms press into the floor. Breathe into the front of the chest. And on the exhale, drawing the elbows down towards the floor and creating a pillow for the hands or extending the palms all the way forward into a lounging pigeon. So notice if you're jumping into the left hip, how can you draw the right foot, right back of the foot, backwards behind you, and moving some weight into the right hip. Breathe into the left hip, releasing into the right back's lower back. Beautiful. One more deep inhalation. Deep, full, complete exhalation. One more deep breath, breathing into anywhere you feel tension, allowing the breath to be that blanket of calm that moves and washes over the body. On the exhale, releasing the breath, breathing out of the mouth, and then walking the hands back up underneath the shoulders. Tuck that right toe under so that you can lift that left leg up. And behind you, walk out both legs in downward dog here. Bend the knees here. Just giving yourself a little stretch to the back side of the hamstring. So we're gonna use this walking out of the dog here to extend the back of the hamstrings. Release any stress in, especially in the sciatic nerve, the way the fascia goes in from the hips, go into the lower back here. Exhale, pressing back into your downward dog, coming into stillness when that feels good for you. Bending your knees, if that feels good. Especially if you have any pain in the lower back, no shame in the game, really just supporting the body, using the breath and using this practice as a healing balm. Notice where can you actually ease up and give yourself permission to be gentle. Okay, on the next inhalation, inhale, drawing the right knee up towards the chest, drawing it forward onto the floor. Right knee, right at a 45-degree angle. Exhale, drawing both hips back, the left top of the foot on the floor, and walking the hands back into this. Right toes up in the air. Getting this hand stretched through the back of the right hamstring. Flexion in the foot, widening the toes here. Come up onto the palms of the hands, come up onto the fingertips, drawing the right hip back. You might even imagine that you're cinching the right hip back into the pelvis girdle. Another centimeter or two, you could even see yourself pulling the right heel back as enough to literally create a little squish in your mat. Very technical terms here. Inhaling into the heel. And on the exhale, walking the hands forward. They're not forward already. And then coming into your runner's lunge. Fingertips wide around the right front foot. Breathing into the left side of the hip. And notice how can you breathe into the lower back here, not compressing, but allowing the front of the chest to open forward towards the front of the mat. Beautiful. And on your next inhalation, really squaring off those hips. On the exhalation, allowing the right foot to open to the side and come into your pigeon pose here. Drawing the left leg back. Inhale, press the hand into the floor. Drawing that left hip, the whole back of top of the left foot on the floor. And on the exhale, Breathing into the hips as they open and allowing the hands to come onto the floor. Perhaps both palms stack one on top of the other to create a pillow for your hands, or you might walk both hands forward if that's available for you. Inhale, breathing deep, using that breath as the calming balm. Underneath the hip, especially that right hip and tightness in the right hip. And the hamstring inserts deep into the back of the leg. Number 5. And the pelvic girdle, inhaling, filling up any areas that are tight with the breath. Exhale, breathing out of the mouth, releasing. Slow, complete exhalation. Coming back to that 4 count inhalation if you've forgotten about it. And that 5 slow count exhalation. One more breath like that. Inhale, filling up the breath, filling up the body with the breath. You might even hold a little bit on the inhalation. Hold a second here, and then on the exhalation, releasing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When the breath, all the breath leaves the body, taking a little pause here. Signaling to the nervous system, it's okay to release the breath. Ready? Your next inhalation, walking the hands up underneath the shoulders. Draw the left foot forward. And draw the knees in front of you here. Releasing the lower back. If you want, you can come back to walking the dog or whatever way you want to bring yourself onto the lower back. So on the inhale, drawing the lower back onto the floor, placing both feet up into the air. Squeeze both knees together, flexing the feet back towards the belly, pressing the whole spine onto the floor. Beautiful. So active through the feet, you might even be shaking just slightly. Beautiful. On the inhale, and on the exhale, draw the knees in towards the belly. Releasing the lower back here. And then on the exhale, draw the feet down. And then we want to open the knees out to the side into Baddha Konasana for your resting position. If you do have blocks, you could place one block underneath each thigh, walking the feet away from the torso. Knees opening up wide like a butterfly, palms facing up towards the sky. This is a great way to release the lower back, especially if there is any back pain or flare, and it can even be better than just your traditional Shavasana pose or corpse pose. So inhale slowly, breathing in through the nose. Giving thanks to yourself for showing up for this healing practice, showing up in this powerful way to support your body in its healing. Using this conscious breath to release anything that needs to be released. Blowing it out of the mouth. Feel that belly button come back towards the spine, towards the floor. Noticing any differences in the breath and the body. Using our conscious awareness to track the change, allow for transformation in the body. Placing the hands in front of the heart, chin bows towards the chest gently, giving thanks for teachers that come before, and for yourself for showing up for this practice. I'm thankful for you for showing up powerfully in this way for yourself. Give thanks to your ancestors for your strong and capable body. Namaste. Finish.